Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the AEW Dynamite Modcast review. And I do say back because we missed last week. We just couldn't get schedules to line up and people were rather ill. So now everyone is happy, healthy, but more importantly, we are good to go for this podcast. I am joined, as I always am, every week by Dory. Please introduce yourself to anyone who doesn't know you at this point, though
What
God
the
knows why.
fuck is up, internet? It is my last week of summer camp. Am I absolutely exhausted? Yes. Yes, I am. But I wanted to talk about some goddamn beloved dub stuff for y'all.
Woo!
So I'm excited to be here with Adam to talk about it. As excited as I can be. I'm also really excited to stop working 40 hours in the hot sun. So that'll be great too. I love my job, but I'm very happy to be done with it for at least another year. So but yeah, we had a great go home show. I sound like Tony Khan, god damn it. We had a great go home show, and I'm really excited about Forbidden Door. Collision's looking really great too. Anyway,
You
so
said you
that's like
sounded eerily like him. Then I didn't like that.
I I've got some practice. I've got some practice. Um,
I did
but
appreciate
yeah,
I did appreciate his answer on the media call today. He was asked like, "What do you think of WWE Counts programming?" And he was just like, "I'm just going to talk about AEW," and then
yeah,
proceeded to talk at length about AEW as only he can. Um, you know what I mean?
amazing.
He went for like
I
10
of
minutes
course,
probably.
amazing.
Um,
Uh,
he got to like 10 minutes and then probably said, "Thanks for asking," and everyone had forgotten what the fucking question was.
um,
Though speaking of
excuse me.
talking,
I
speaking for
I
talking
am
about
working off. Sorry. One last thing. I am working
okay.
off a summer cold. I'm pretty much better. Like I'm 90% back to normal. But if you hear me cough every now and then, that's why. So
Wonderful. But as I was saying, speaking of about, talking for 10 minutes about something unrelated, because we missed last week, we didn't do one last week. The wonderful Modcast faithful did not get to hear me talk about the G1 Climax final and semi-finals and such. So I will briefly put a note in here and say um, to all the people who have been talking about Tony Khan, little bro in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tony Khan, it came out via Mr. Sean Ross Sapp, who is a personal friend of mine. Tori knows what I'm talking
of
about.
course. Of
Um,
course.
but Sean reported that Tony Khan refused pretty much, or heavily discouraged booking Evil on any Forbidden Door shows, and he's refused to have him in any AEW sense purely because he thinks he sucks, and Tony Khan is right. Gado, on the other hand, booked Evil into the final of the G1 Climax, the most prestigious tournament in wrestling history. And they had a man who I can charitably describe as steaming hot, fresh from the asshole dog shit in the final of the G1. And not only in the final of the G1, I had convinced myself that he was beating Konosuke Takeshita. I didn't watch the final live because I thought it's in the morning for me. It's going to ruin my fucking day. As it turns out, Takeshita won, which is the right decision, first of all, for New Japan's long-term viability. But second of all, is the right decision for my continued spending money on New Japan World. I should probably actually cancel that. I really don't get enough use out of it to justify giving Gedo that much fucking money. But yeah, so congratulations to Konosuke Takeshita for winning the G1. 1,000 years of diabolical torture to anyone involved in the House of Torture and their booking. But that's enough of that. It's over. It's done. The history books will simply remember Konosuke Takeshita won the G1. And the history books will also remember this Dynamite, though perhaps not as much as previous Dynamites, because, this was a good show. It was a good show. But in terms of Dynamite's sort of lofty, incredible expectations, it was middle of the road. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I walked away from last night and I'm like, I don't I didn't dislike the show, but I didn't love it. Like it was a good show. I think the Brodido match will have a lot to say about,
Yeah.
and I think we'll have a lot to say about MJF and Hangman and how that match is going to work out, plus the women's tag. But everything else, and the Cope stuff. So there was great stuff here, but there was also some stuff that I just felt very go home show he. Like I love Will Ospreay to death, but that opening promo was just a little too rah
Uh,
rah
see,
for me.
see, this is the thing. I love that because I'm British, so all the references that all the Americans are like, oh, I guess that's a British thing. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. You talk about vegan
It's
sausage
for the
rolls.
fucking Brits. Fuck that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But basically, he did this. What makes me laugh is he did the same thing a year ago in Cardiff. The one I was there for.
yeah,
Like, it's not the same promo, but it's the same type of promo where he just talks up everything British because he's finally back home.
yeah,
By the
yeah.
way,
Sausage
we'll,
rolls got a chant. That was fun.
we'll talk about that because
Yeah.
I have something to
I
say on.
prefer my rolls with sausages than jelly. Just saying.
Oh, I didn't know what you meant for a second then, and I was oh,
Act surprisingly not a sexual joke.
still a better wrestler than 2025 Chris Jericho.
Hey.
Though to be fair, so am I. But
Uh,
hey, speaking of
so
people who are
the
better,
show was good, but the
yeah,
show was good. Just don't expect Adam and I to be like, oh my god, it's amazing.
well,
Like, but I mean, it did what it's supposed to do. It got me excited for Forbidden Door. I'm really looking
yeah.
forward to that 4-way TBS title match. A lot of good matches
Mm.
got announced. So
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time in a while because I'm one of those assholes that rates things on Cage Match, because I'm a nerd who doesn't leave the house. But this was the first show in a while where I rated it below the average sort of community rating. I think this is sit at about a 7.4. I rated it a 7. So,
yeah,
this was a 7 out of 10 show. Good, didn't blow me away. But I
sure.
talked about 2025 Chris Jericho. He's been in the news recently. Speaking of wrestlers who are better in the ring than 2025 Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson opened this show.
No, that just feels unfair. That's like saying like speaking of people who I could outrun, here comes my nana or something like that, you know.
Speaking of people who I'm faster than, Stephen Hawking. Um,
Who's
but
dead, so doubly you could outrun him, yes.
yes, I can jump. I can jump higher than Stephen Hawking
Oh
right
my
now.
god. All
I can.
right.
Hey, I can jump higher than Wilt Chamberlain right now. But anyway, I apologize. Bryan Danielson was on commentary for the entirety of this show, which does help. Like, here's us talking about, oh well, this was a pretty good show, but it didn't blow me away. Bryan Danielson being on commentary for the whole thing does add like a good point and a half because he's a surprisingly good commentator. It's just his passion for pro wrestling absolutely comes through in everything he says.
Yeah, it was such a treat to see him. One of my favorite details that people noticed online that I didn't quite notice. I want to be also transparent. I was finishing up a video game while Dynamite was going on as well, because I was just desperate to beat it that night, because I was super close. So there might be some small details here and there that Adam's going to talk about, and I'm going to be like, wait, what the fuck did that happen? But
Yeah.
in broad
Also,
strokes, I absolutely was watching. But one thing I did miss is that Danielson. He was staring a fucking hole through John Moxley, and John
wasn't he
Moxley was
just?
completely ignoring him.
I
Very
thought that was
funny.
brilliant. I mean, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that in a minute. We got to talk about
Yes.
Will Ospreay comes out, says he gets a big fucking pop because of course he does.
Right.
The crowd are chanting for him and all that. He does the whole, rah rah thing. Talked about the first time he ever went to Glasgow and the promoter sort of shafted him on a hotel room and a pickup and stuff like that, which I'm told is a very common occurrence in the independent wrestling scene. Everyone goes through it. Said that the UK can absolutely drink Americans under the table. He's right on that, by the way. There's 70 million of us and about 350 million of you. I reckon you put you put the two against each other, we'll still be standing. 70 million. We can put down 5 times as much as you can.
I'm straight edge. I really don't give a shit about this conversation.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Like, I've been out with Americans. It's like, oh, we're going. When people say, oh, let's go for a drink.
Right.
Well, Americans, they mean one drink when they say that. Let's go for a drink, one drink.
Right.
When Brits say let's go for a drink, that's minimum 10.
I just imagine that all of you are dwarves from like classical tropish dwarves from
We
D&D, and you can
we
just
can
like
drink
take
like
all
them.
the ale in the world.
Where do you think the stereotype of dwarfs comes from? It's Scotland and Wales.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. I never thought about that, but you're right.
But yes, anyway, talks about sausage rolls because he praises Greg's because Greg's is a national institution. It makes me want to. I mean, they're closed at the moment, but tomorrow I am going to go get a Greg's in honor of Will Ospreay. I was going to anyway. I do want to contradict him though. The vegan sausage rolls are better than the normal ones, which
Now,
is
I think he said this specifically, and you probably agree, but you know where I'm going with this. I think he specifically said this to kind of throw a little barb at Danielson.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's basically the consensus in Britain at this point that the vegan sausage rolls are in fact better than the regular sausage rolls, which nobody expected to happen when they first came out. I remember when they came out, it was like 2018, 2019. And it was like, oh, you had the typical, oh, this vegan crap, blah, 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 blah. And then the people that sort of tried them because they were like, oh, well, we'll give it a go. It's the new item. We're like, holy shit, these are awesome. And now I've heard vegans complain that when they go into Greg's, there are no vegan sausage rolls left because people who eat meat like me have had them all. So,
Wow.
you need to strike a balance between, good for vegans and not good enough that everyone else will want them as well.
Wow.
I know. I apologize.
I've never heard of this happen, so I'm just kind of dumbfounded, but that's cool.
Yeah, like, I don't know. The vegan sausage roll has turned the UK woke or something. And then J.K. Rowling stamped that out very quickly.
That's right, yeah.
Anyway, Will Ospreay needs neck surgery. Sorry to bury the lead there.
By the way,
yeah, it's like I'll spend 10 minutes talking about sausage rolls and be like, oh yeah, by the way, Will Ospreay's going to be out for a year.
Yeah, this definitely felt like I'm gonna wrestle one more crazy match to tie up loose ends with Jon Moxley, and then I'm gonna be gone for a while. And we're honestly lucky if it's gonna be a year because I could see it being longer than a year. So hopefully he's back in time for All In next year. But that's
the problem. The problem is as well. Everyone and their mothers had sort of fantasy booked that Will Ospreay was going to win the title next year in Wembley.
Right.
But not only would he have to be back for the show, realistically, he'd have to be back for the Owen as well, which is what, like April, May time?
Yeah, there's just no way. That's like almost half the recovery time.
Yeah. Which is a shame. I mean, it's a crying shame because Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
Bar none.
I do have to say it's we also learned today via if you follow Fightful and maybe if you just heard online, but Swerve's also dealing with some injury issues. And I obviously this sucks for both of them, but I will say the plus side is that everybody was wondering, well, what the fuck do we do with Swerve and Ospreay for a year if Hangman's not losing it within this year, right? Well, what would explain them not going after the title once they're done with whatever they're doing right now? And well, there you go, I guess. I mean, it's not what I want, obviously. Not the answer I wanted, but it is a answer. It is a choice. So,
yeah. What I would say is that meniscus surgery, it's not as bad as Ospreay's. I think the general consensus is if he's properly torn it badly, which honestly I can't believe that he has because he's been wrestling with it if he had torn it
6
completely,
years.
he would not be wrestling on Sunday.
Right.
No chance. He wouldn't be walking if he properly torn like grade 3 or 4 tear meniscus. So I have to assume that he's having it done for surgery, just wear and tear, probably a couple of months, maybe like 6 months at the very most, if it's not too bad. Obviously, if for some reason he has completely torn his meniscus, and he's wrestling on Sunday, first of all, what the fuck are you doing, Mr. Strickland? And second of all, yeah, then you could be looking at like a 6 to 9 month period, which is shit. Um, makes me think, why didn't the Bucks just win?
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't trade what's happened to the Bucks since All In for anything, though.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, which explains the neck issues and the meniscus tear.
And Will Ospreay crowns up. But yeah, he is probably out for neck surgery. Will Ospreay, that is. But he's gonna take down John Moxley. It was his standard sort of go home thing. John Moxley then came out, as you said, completely blanked Danielson on commentary, which I thought was really good. And then Moxley squares up to Ospreay, blah 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 blah. They start brawling. Jet Speed come down to fight off the rest of the Death Riders, and Hiroshi Tanahashi's music hits, and he
Oh
does
boy.
what you would charitably describe as a run-in, more of a sort of hobble-in.
Yeah.
Poor Tana, man. Like
I do not say this. I respect my president Ace. All the love to him. I'm very glad he's retiring this year. It has to happen. My
yeah,
man cannot do this anymore.
yeah. I mean, he's 48. He's going to be 49 by the time he retires. He is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I don't think anyone who seriously knows what they're talking about in wrestling would dispute that. But yeah, it's time. Arguably it's been time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we wish you well in your retirement. Good luck being president of the company. Please stop with your hard on for Evil and the House of Torture. But good luck, Hiroshi. And speaking of, he was in a match. It was a good match. This was Jet Speed, Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, hopefully future tag team champions, though not anytime soon by the sound of it, versus the Death Riders of John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. Good little match, this. Good thing to
Yeah.
just sort of get the crowd up. And, I just, there's not a great deal to say about this match.
No.
Only,
I barely, like, I watched it, but like it was kind of offhand. Like I did pay attention to most of it, but I couldn't tell you much of what happened. Although I mean honestly that goes for a lot of matches. But the the thing that really stuck with me every time I watched Tanahashi do a move, man, it looked painful.
I
I
know.
don't know. I'm not saying, yeah, I am saying it looked bad. But like one of them was like he did like a flipping senton or some shit. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
I audibly like gasped and like groaned. I was like, that looked like it sucked for everybody. Like ugh.
Yeah, I know. And he also, like, I'm not entirely sure whether he innovated the sling blade. I'm just going to check that, because he certainly, if he didn't innovate it, then it's one of the sort of earlier. He's one of the earlier adopters of it, so to speak.
Right.
But you know, it's the sort of thing where it's like he does it now because he's always done it, and it just makes me sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But just please be okay. I can't find if he innovated it.
I really have only seen 3 people ever use it, him, Balor, and Penta. So I have not much to add on this topic. I'm not sure who did.
Apparently it was Masato Yoshino. Good for him.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. But I'd say arguably it was popularized by Tanahashi.
Right.
But yeah, this match, it happened. Tanahashi got the. Oh, what we should say is the more interesting thing was happening on the outside because Will Ospreay came back down. Marina Shafir got sort of ousted from the match, and Will Ospreay kidnapped her on the rampway. Came back sort of just before the match ended with a body bag.
Now, did you know immediately that was Darby? Because I did.
I did as well.
Okay.
I absolutely did. But King Down said, "Oh, look, your girl's in here. Come and get her." And the Death Riders came and got her. Will Ospreay ripped open the bag, and there was Darby Allin to take down the Death Riders. We should mention that the Bullet Club War Dogs were here. Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd. I mean, Gabe Kidd's expected to be there at this point. He spends more time in AEW than New Japan at this fucking point.
Right.
Get that paper, Gabe. I don't care. I just know that there's a lot of people that do. But apparently, I read a Dynamite review that said the number of people that were involved in this whole sort of match and segment after the match was 19, because you had the War Dogs, you had the Death Riders, you had the Bucks come in to super kick Ospreay, you had like the Paragon, Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly come out to take
for
the
some
Bucks
reason.
on.
For some reason.
They set that up. They wrestled on Collision. I don't know if it was any good or not, but I have to assume it was. The Ops came down to, I don't know, help clear out the Death Riders. Darby Allin somehow got up onto the mezzanine of the Hydro and did a coffin drop off the top, off the balcony. I don't know where he got it from, and also nobody called him. Like he just
the floor caught him more than anything, which was kind of wild.
literally the seas parted. I was like, what is this, TNA? But good stuff. Good stuff. I'm still incredibly excited and worried about this cage match.
Yeah. On one hand, you have Kenny, who almost died, Ibushi, who had to recover for a long time, Ospreay, who needs neck surgery, Tanahashi, who's falling apart at the seams, and who's the last person? Oh, Darby, who's fucking insane. So
it comes to something. It comes to something when I'm looking at that lineup and thinking the person I'm least worried about is Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, who is it on the Death Rider side? Because I know you've got the Bucks and Gabe Kidd and obviously Moxley. Is it Claudio?
It is Claudio. It's not Yuta.
Okay. I assumed as much. I thought if you're going to choose one of the two, you probably choose Claudio. But you know who I miss? I miss Pac. Please be okay.
Me too. God, how many times do we have to say that we miss Pac?
I know. If it's not his fucking leg, it's his visa. Like, Jesus Christ. But I personally respect not wanting to move to America. Because fuck that.
I as somebody who lives in America, I also personally respect that.
Yeah. I saw, who was it? Can't remember who it was. Oh, it was Nixon Newell. Put on social media that she just had a full-on proper. If you support America, I've lived here for whatever. Absolutely get the fuck away from me. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. As a fellow Welsh person, I think that sums up 90% of the attitudes of this country towards your current president. And if anyone has a problem with that, guess what?
I didn't vote for him. Just saying.
If anyone has a problem with me saying that, well, let us know in the Discord. We really like Trump supporters. Sorry.
I got that one.
But then after that,
you fucking take that back. Sorry.
Apologize right now.
Apologize right now. Somebody was like, Adam and Dory, you guys should turn the podcast into a part-time shit poster where we just call people out. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we have been doing that for
I
months.
was going to say, you have not been watching.
That's right.
But after all of that, I think there was like a video package of Hangman Page and MJF. It was pretty standard.
Right.
You know, the match is happening, and we'll talk about that later. But after that, we had the old dudes in the ring of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. The Hydro was very loudly singing Metalingus.
Yes.
Not as loud as we will be on Sunday. Trust me. You will have never seen anything like it. But yeah, Christian Cage came down to the ring as well. I did like the little detail of Christian Cage starting his promo like he always does, going, everyone shut your mouths while I conduct business, and Adam Copeland just, hang on a minute, calm down, they're chanting for you.
Yeah, it's like like the guy who's been away for a while. Everybody hated him when he was there, and now he's back. He's like a returning hero, and he's like, fuck you," and like your buddy has to go like, no, dude, no, it's cool now, they all like you. I mean,
Yeah,
secretly, everyone's liked Christian for a while. We've all wanted a fucking excuse to cheer him. Like I have been cheering him for a while.
yeah, well, I
I also don't have a father in my life. These two things cannot possibly be connected.
well, I mean, fatherless individuals do naturally gravitate to him.
That's right.
So I can't blame you for that. I love
Absolutely.
Christian. I've loved his work. I admittedly was slightly worried when, the rumors were, oh, well, you're going to have the sort of Edge and Christian reunion. Because I thought, but Christian's doing so well. I thought, do I really want him back in that sort of dynamic? Or do I just want him to keep doing what he's doing because he's doing it so well? But I've been shown the light in terms of, I think Christian can absolutely just keep doing what he's doing and do the tag team reunion, because I
Yep.
really like the segment because it showed what it was. I was worried that we were just going to go immediately back to, smiley, happy Christian, 5-second poses, just a pure nostalgia run. But what this segment showed is that actually they are doing a bit more of a nuanced sort of, well, Christian's not willing to change that much, but he is sort of begrudgingly realizing that, Adam Copeland is basically the only guy that will stick up for him now. So he sort of begrudgingly has to compromise a bit, but he's not very happy about it necessarily. And I was like, that is a story that you can sink your teeth into. That's a story with nuance and a story with sort of branches that you can explore, rather than just having a pure sort of, oh yay, we're back, here's some matches, which is like, I mean, it's fine, but it's not necessarily what I wanted. But no, this is working for me, especially this promo. This was a very good promo.
Yes.
Especially
I want to say this was a lot better than the last Christian promo we talked about. This was so good. When Christian was like, I don't want to change. I have looked deep within myself and found myself, and I'm pretty fucking awesome the way I am. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, because the easy way out, like you said, would have been do the 5-second photo poses for anyone who remembers that. And like, going on ladders together and high fiving and being cheesy and whatever. Like, no, like that would as fun that would be fun in places, but I think it would undercut their characters right now. And I
yeah,
think
for
the
what
more
it's
realistic,
worth,
yeah,
I think they get there at least, once or twice. They're going to do the whole for the benefit of those with flash photography, which is, fucking everyone these days.
right,
But I do expect them to eventually do a little bit of that, because how do you not? But I appreciate that it's not immediately what they just went for with no rhyme or reason. They're doing a good job, I think, of setting the scene for that without it feeling abrupt or
right.
blatant. But I did like that. Adam Copeland said that you're an asshole, but you're my
You're my
asshole.
asshole.
And then
I love that.
immediately,
There was just an amazing pause from Adam as he kind of looked himself over, like, wait a second. Even Tony in the corner was like, "Did you just say that?"
oh dear. But I thought this was really good. And also we should talk about arguably the bigger talking point coming out of this,
Yes,
which
yes,
is
yes,
that
yes.
first of all, Kip Sabian and Mother Wayne is just a bisexual disaster.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, Kip. But anyway,
More into Mother Wayne, but I respect that.
I know, but the thing is, I know Mother Wayne's deal at this point,
Yeah.
whereas Kip Sabian has been a bit more in the background. But
I want to say, by the way, side tangent, but it's relevant. I'm so happy for Kip. Like, this is so great.
yeah,
He's been like, I think he was a day oneer or like very close to a day oneer, and he has almost never been on TV, almost never really got anything. Like, he did a little bit in 2019 and 2020, and then of course the whole Bagman situation where it just built to absolute fuck all. But I'm really happy for him. I think he's a good
mm,
promo. I think he's a solid in-ring worker. So I'm very happy for him and that he gets to be able to do this.
I agree. He was a day one guy. I just looked it up. He was on Double or Nothing 2019, which is as day
Yeah.
one as you get.
Yeah.
Because there are tiers of day one. You see, there are people who are signed by the first Dynamite, and then there were people that were signed by Double or Nothing. But yes, anyway, Nick Wayne appeared via satellite. I know it's not via satellite anymore, but I just, for some reason, my childhood remembers when it was The
Yeah,
Rock
I
versus
also
John
remember
Cena.
via satellite. Yep.
Um, but Nick Wayne is on crutches because he broke his foot. Apparently, must have been in the match sort of last week. Which is it's very sad for him. But on the bright side, I'm not sure that a broken foot is too bad. There's a lot of fucking injuries in AEW at the moment.
Yeah.
But he's broken his foot, so obviously he's not going to be in the match. Consider it a blessing, sort of thing. Nick Wayne is a very good promo, by the way. This was a good promo.
Yes, this was good. Nick has been on a roll with good promos lately.
Yeah, he needs to stop mewing, but he is a good cutter of promos. He said that he is one step away, one step ahead. That's my brain not functioning at this time of night. But yeah, he's one step ahead because guess who's back? And I'm very, very happy to see him back. Luchasaurus is back, and I will be calling him Luchasaurus because I know some people like the name change. I do not. He's Luchasaurus.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Kill Switch just because that's what they call him. But I have no problem with him being called Luchasaurus if that's what you want. But yeah, I'm very happy about this. Now I'm super happy. Number one because we didn't even know if Kill Switch
Yeah,
would be like alive, let alone wrestling.
yeah.
So
He
this
had
is incredible.
for those who don't know, he had a really bad health scare. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, he got taken off TV quite suddenly." Yeah, he nearly died. That's how it was described. It was like you don't want to make the comparison, but apparently it was sort of similar to, but not as obviously lethal as what Brody Lee had. That sort of lung issue. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, very, very happy to see him back on that front. But I know what
But
you're gonna say. I know what you're
the
gonna say.
important thing, Adam, who will not cut me off, is that there was a man who was helping him, helping Kill Switch get back on his feet. Seemed to be in a kind of dingy workplace environment with lots of tools, seemingly some
Mm,
DIY stuff around. Didn't see the face or the hair, but sure reminded me of a certain scapegoat.
I'd be. Oh my god! I was saying this last night. If we end up getting like there's clearly a very concerted effort to do some sort of tag team revival, pun not intended, but in the tag division. very much heavily focusing on potential challengers and stuff like that. And I think they've done a pretty good job of it, especially in this tournament. If we can get a revived Jurassic Express in this division, I will die a happy man, because I love scapegoat Jack Perry. I thought he really made chicken salad out of the chicken shit of the situation. But in ring, especially, he never hit the heights that he did when he was Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus in Jurassic Express. So purely, like, I never enjoyed Jack Perry more than that Jurassic Express tag title run and the stuff he did with Christian Cage. So I would be very, very, very happy if that is the direction we're going here, because I've seen that, I've seen the video. It looks like him. It's gotta be him.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
It makes sense storyline wise. He has reasons to dislike Christian Cage. It makes total sense. So, and we've also heard on one of Sean's shows that he expects Jack to be back within a month, which absolutely fits that narrative as well. I would love a heel Jurassic Express. This is a side bit, but I would also love a heel Acclaimed at some point later in the year, because I think that's what we're eventually going to get. But
yeah, yes and no on the heel Acclaimed, because I just love what Max Caster's doing.
I think he can still basically do what he's doing, but just have someone backing him up who can actually go in the ring.
See, the problem is, I think that Anthony Bowens is definitely turning heel.
Right.
I'm not sure that Max Caster is a heel anymore.
He's not.
I'm really not. No, but you know what I mean.
He's trying to be, but like the crowd doesn't care.
The crowd loves him too much.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want him to regress, because I think pairing him with Anthony Bowens would bring him down at this point, which is fucking crazy to say.
Right.
But I don't know. I get that there has to be an end point to this. We cannot, for the next 10 years, keep doing the 5-minute open challenges. I get that. But I'm just having too much fun with it. You know what I mean?
It's such a good gimmick. I'm not saying they should do it anytime soon, but I do think that they should eventually come back as heels, burn some scissors in the middle of the ring, maybe get Billy in there while you can, if you can.
No.
And no, I mean in terms of like burning them. But anyway.
Right. I see. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why the fuck you think I'd want Billy in the goddamn heel Acclaim. No, thank you. I don't want him in a face Acclaim.
I've heard you say crazy shit before, but that would really,
Look, I was there for Jay White, and I wasn't there, but I was there for that match. But anyway,
Christ.
So
wait, were you actually there?
No, I said I wasn't there, but I was there. I was watching the match live.
I thought it was in like Massachusetts, so I thought, oh my god, there was a chance you were there.
Wait, now I need to look this up. This is completely gone off the rails.
I know. Hold on, Billy Gunn. Thank you, Cage Match. The thing that you were supposed to be doing. 1.41 rating.
Oh my god, where was it?
It was in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh, you know what? I was story time. So I was supposed to go to this show. I accidentally bought tickets to the show the week after in Georgia. Didn't notice until the day of and couldn't get a refund. So my partner and I just like sat at home. Not at home. We were actually dog sitting. But we were, both of us were so pissed. And then that match happened, and I was like, it's not all bad. Actually, up to that point, it had been a really good show, and then that match happened, and I was like, oh, all right, well,
Dory, next week, the Dynamite after that, was in Charleston, West Virginia. That's the one you bought tickets for. It was the one where they showed the fucking footage. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I could have sworn it was Georgia. Maybe I'm getting my dates wrong. Either way, I don't think I was there live for the match, and the match was terrible. But all I'm saying is give Peace a chance, but also give heel Jurassic Express, and maybe even the Acclaimed a chance. But we'll see. That's all a side thing. This was a great segment. And then Mark Briscoe went looking for MJF for like 5 seconds before MJF talked to Ricochet.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, where were we? Yeah, so MJF talks to Ricochet. The Mark Briscoe promo happened. It was just him saying, like, I'm gonna fight MJF, which is what he's been doing. I love Mark, but not much to talk about. But MJF offered Ricochet, I assume, it's MJF's style to offer them a boatload of money. But he basically asked them for their help with Mark Briscoe tonight, very sort of vaguely saying that something bad needs to happen to him. And Ricochet obliged because he hates Mark Briscoe almost as much as MJF. But now we need to talk about the best thing that happened on this show by quite a way, I would argue, which is the finals of the very good up to this point number one contenders tournament for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And the final was FTR versus Brodido, the tag team of Bandido and Brody King. And as an aside, I think Brodido has a claim to be the best thrown together tag team of all time.
They're certainly the best, or one of the best in AEW history. Just the level of talent and the amount of synergy between these two, and how much they know each other and respect each other's work and as people. It's yeah.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like, you can have incredible teams, be thrown together, featuring two brilliant people. But to have the level of communication and, cooperation and just pure fluidity that these two have in the ring together, like, that's magic. Like, to stumble onto that is just phenomenal. And they certainly did not disappoint here, because this match was absolutely brilliant.
This was pay-per-view level easily. I actually, I'm instead of burying the lead, I'm going to like put a bright neon sign in front of the lead here. But like, I don't usually like draws. But this case, I was actually happy with it. I think it made sense. And if the rumors are true about the Hurt Syndicate and their politicking and stuff, then I think this is a good way to get around that. It's time tested and generally works well. I think what's going to happen at the pay-per-view is that FTR is going to pin Brodido through some shitty shenanigans, or maybe MJF cost the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know, but they're not going to get pinned either way. I think what will happen is Brodido will get pinned, and FTR will take that title, and eventually we'll get Cope and Christian versus FTR for the titles. Probably at All Out, but maybe that seems a bit soon, so maybe not. I don't know.
See, my head agrees with you that FTR are winning. For sure, I don't think either way the Hurt Syndicate walk away with the belts. I think that the whole point of the three-way match is exactly what you said, to get the belts off the Hurt Syndicate without having to pin them. But I'm like 70% with my head that FTR are going to pin Brodido for all the reasons you mentioned. Right. But there is my heart that says you don't get this lightning in the bottle energy that often in wrestling. There is absolutely an argument to be made that this tag team is setting the division on fire right now. Just belt them up. Just belt the hot, team with two of your big stars in a show now going forward without a lot of your top stars. You could absolutely just have, Brodido win the belts, put on classic tag defenses every week or two on Dynamite, and that can be just sort of your blueprint for Dynamite going forward.
Imagine Brodido versus Jet Speed for the titles.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, give
That's
them
what I'm saying.
Give them like 20 minutes on Dynamite.
Yes.
Just have that be part of your Dynamite blueprint for the next few months. As you sort of recover from a lot of the injury bugs that have bit you. Swerve, Swerve, Will Ospreay, Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes. Who else am I missing? Nick Wayne. All of these people. Just you can absolutely have the tag team championships be around the waist of these two men. And
ROH, by the way, man, that division of AEW is not in a good state right now. A lot of their champions are injured.
Woof. Talk about it.
Woof.
I mean,
Yeah.
like who's injured at the moment? So
Dustin is, which is the trios and tags.
Yeah, Dustin's injured. God knows where
Nick's
the
injured.
fucking Von Erich are. Yeah, Nick Wayne's injured, who is the TV champion. Who's the pure champion?
That's Lee, isn't it? He's fine.
He's fine. The women's TV champion, Red Velvet, is injured. Even the fucking interim one, Nina Shirakawa, got injured.
Injured.
I mean, she's back now.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Good
at
Lord.
least she recovered long enough to be part of the Casino Gauntlet and be pinned by Athena.
But you know what? The only thing that matters is that your forever women's world champion, Athena, is perfectly fine. And we'll be winning on Sunday, I hope. God, please.
I mean, at this point, we'll talk about this later because she is in a match. Later on in the show. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about this match was just
this
excellent.
match. Yes.
There were so many spots to speak about. Do we want to sort of talk about the last spot first, as it were?
Sure.
Because Cash Wheeler has developed a little bit of a reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, he has. No, ask certain people. Oh, no, that you meant the tables. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, Cash Wheeler has developed a certain reputation amongst Floridian judges. But no, he's developed a bit of a reputation as one hell of a suicide dive artist.
Yes.
In terms of you have some people that do it very gracefully, and you have some people that do it sort of hard hitting or whatever, and then you have Cash Wheeler who just launches himself at you like he's going to die anyway. You know what I'm? It's like he puts the suicide and suicide dive in some of these.
He really
things.
does. I honestly think him and Darby are like two of the best suicide dives in AEW, and that's crazy because they're two very different people.
And they're two very different types of dive as well. Because Darby Allin, it's almost like a gunshot where he goes so fast and he goes through the bottom rope and just hits you so quickly. Whereas Cash Wheeler, that's like a freight train hitting you, where it's just like he absolutely balls to the wall, no regard for his own health whatsoever. The final spot of this match, they set up a table on the outside, resting on the barricade, and Cash Wheeler, he has, I think it's Brody King, set up on the table, gets back into the ring, charges full pelt at Brody King, launches himself from the ring. Brody gets out of the way, and Cash Wheeler absolutely stacks it on this table, just as the bell rings as well, which I thought was really
perfect timing. Now I'm still confused why FTR got out the table and why we did all this outside stuff. Shouldn't they have been trying to win it as quickly as possible? I don't really understand what was going on. Maybe they had just mistimed it, but it didn't seem like it because Cash went into that fucking table just as the bell hit. So I'm a little confused what happened here towards the end, but it was such a good match that I don't really care.
Part of me thinks as they hit the minute mark, I'm trying to rationalize this in my own head because I agree it's weird, but it's also one of those things that I don't really care about because it's one of those things where it's like the ends justify the means basically, because I really wanted Brodido to win this match, but logically I knew that the likely scenario was FTR winning. So a scenario in which the logical scenario happens and my fantasy happens is beautiful, no notes sort of thing. So I don't really care that the finish didn't make a lot of sense. But if I had to rationalize it in my own head, I just sort of think once the 1 minute mark happens and they were all on the outside, I guess they sort of thought, well, there's enough precedent here to know that if this goes to a draw, we'll probably both go through. So we're just going to focus on killing each other while we're at it. Try and sort of weaken the other team going into the pay-per-view. I don't know. That's just sort of, if I were to.
I look, I would love it if Brodido wins. I just don't think that's going to happen because of Cope and Christian at all out versus unless we're putting that off for another Canadian pay-per-view, but I just don't see when that would be.
I doubt we
So
are. I doubt we are. But also, my point to that would be that absolutely doesn't need the titles.
that's
That is a
true.
match. That is a match that's been built to for literal years at this point.
Yeah.
Because that is a match that was built to on WWE programming while FTR were in AEW.
Well, yeah, while Cope was over there, yeah, he literally said it. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. I just don't know that Tony feels the same way. I think he does want those titles back on Christian and Cope, and I think it's more satisfying narratively if they win it off FTR. But I don't disagree, and I would love for Brodido to have it. I think it would be fun for Brodido to have it for a short amount of time, and then maybe FTR cheats and gets it off them, and then we still get that match. But like you said, I agree. We don't have to have the titles. I just think that's the direction it is going.
Yeah, and like that's it's fine. I'm not mad about it because, first of all, I'm one of those people that is sort of like, well, FTR and the Young Bucks being sort of always around the corner in terms of the tag title scene just makes sense because they're two of the greatest tag teams of all time. Why would you not want them in the title picture? So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my god, we're getting another FTR run. Where I'm like, yeah, they probably should because like
This heel look, I might have been one of those people before, but this heel run has been so good that I'm like, fuck it. Like, I don't know how much longer FTR are doing this. Give them one more fucking run, make it a good one, and then like I don't know, have them do like a fucking legacy run or some shit. I don't fucking know, whatever they want to do. But I don't even think it's going to be a long run. I think Cope and Christian win it off them. So I don't even think it's going to be a long run. So even for people who are upset that FTR are winning again, which I don't even get, this has been a tremendous run, and they should be, they should be given a prize for it, which in this case, a title. It's not going to last very long if what I think is going to happen happens.
yeah, true. But all that sort of one side, all that to say, if you haven't watched the match, watch the match. It's brilliant, even if you know the finish now. Still deserves a watch. There was sort of
Also,
a
Brody, excellent bleeder. Just the dude knows how
yeah,
to bleed.
yeah, he really does bleeding like a stuck pig, as JR would say, a crimson mass.
By
Um,
God.
I think he reserved the crimson mass for Ric Flair. Thinking about it,
Yes.
but anyway, there was like a video package on Swerve Strickland vs. Kazuchika Okada. It should be a good match, even though now last week, if you'd have asked me, I just said I could see a scenario in which Swerve Strickland wins this match to solidify the unified belt as a second world champion. Blah blah blah. Yeah, no chance that's happening now. Thank you, Sean Ross Sapp, for completely killing dead with a bolt gun any hopes that I had of Swerve winning that match. But it is what it is. Should be a brilliant match regardless. But yeah, after this, I think this is the most divisive part of the show. I think that's fair to say.
I think that's fair to say too.
So Hangman Page comes down to the ring, cuts a good promo as Hangman Page is known to do. Saying that he was attacked in the parking lot by MJF last week, and that shouldn't surprise anyone because MJF is a coward. At Forbidden Door, he's gonna stick my size 12. What was it? Size 12 something leather. Was it Python leather? I don't know. Python
Yeah,
leather
I believe it
boots
was Python Leather.
up your checkered ass. First of all, pythons are endangered species, Hangman. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I might be talking out of my ass here. But don't kill snakes. Snakes are cool. But anyway, yeah. MJF music hits, and he's not there. Tony Schiavone gets on the mic and says, "We're receiving word from the blah blah blah," MJF is in the back and has a message for Hangman Page, and if Hangman Page leaves the ring before he's done, quote, something very bad is going to happen. And MJF is with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, and they have kidnapped and tied up Mr. Chicken. And I didn't know. I mean, I saw the spoiler beforehand where I saw that I saw the sort of consequences. I didn't know the sort of ins and outs of the segment, so I thought that they were going to beat him up or do something. But no, he threatens to light Mark Briscoe on fire, which I was like, fucking hell. Okay, calm down. You're not, ironically, you're not Hangman Page.
Well, and I think that's really the symbolism they're going for. Is MJF is like, oh, okay, well, it's cool, and he even explicitly says it. I mean, it's cool when Hangman does it, but when I light people on fire, suddenly it's an issue. So
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, he threatened to light Mark Briscoe on fire if Hangman did not agree to. I've got them here. 3 conditions, which are really 2 conditions. Which is the title can change hands via count out or disqualification. I'm bundling those as 2. I'm bundling those as 1. And crucially, MJF does not have to use his contract to get the match. And that's the bit that has everyone sort of either worried or frustrated, because like I get that this is a tricky one for me. This is a tricky one because on the one hand, this whole segment was very well done, by the way. I really like sort of sinister, serious Max coming back, and the story of him getting one up on Hangman because Hangman's a good person and he can exploit that, whatever. But on the other, I'm not convinced that this works just as a sort of storytelling device. I mean, I didn't like the fact that it was a cash-in the first place. I think cash-ins have been thoroughly overdone in wrestling. And not just WWE, by the way. Every independent show or sort of, semi-independent, whatever, has done the cash-in spot ever since Money in the Bank was invented. So I've seen it God knows how many times. And I just didn't need AEW to do it. I would have been much happier with... Do you remember when they used to do like the Face of the Revolution ladder matches? I would have been much, much happier if it had just been one of those things where it's like you are guaranteed a scheduled match with the champion at some point for the title. Much better. Much better. And I'd sort of heard online that Athena and MJF cashing in for Forbidden Door was basically Tony Khan's way of being like, oh, well, this doesn't really work. Obviously, this whole thing has put pay to that because we're back to sort of contract shenanigans. I don't know. Crucially for me, I think it adds intrigue to the match. I think it adds the wrong kind of intrigue, if you get what I mean.
So my perspective is a lot more positive than Adam's. I don't have an issue with cash-ins. I do agree that they are overdone in wrestling, and it is a trope that probably needs to be taken, down a level. But that said, I always find them very exciting. They add a lot of, like Adam just said, intrigue, sometimes the wrong kind, of course. I do think that they have been done very badly in WWE, specifically a lot, and given people who either shouldn't be the champion or just in a way that, or, just played for laughs. I do agree that there's problems with this narrative device in wrestling. I don't mind here. I think it works best when it's a heel, which Athena and MJF ostensibly are, even though I love both of them. And the crowd, I think the crowd wants to cheer Athena, but they just love Tony too much. And Athena is obviously playing that up. But on the MJF side, I mean, I think it makes perfect sense for his character and the kind of person that he is in AEW to have a wherever I can. Now, I know that some folks are frustrated with the backtracking here because, like, if you're going to say, okay, fuck you, like, I lost my cool and now I'm going to execute it, why are you going back? I still think it's a smart way to get back to it, where MJF has that insurance policy, to quote Excalibur, and now he can cash it in later. But at the same time, I mean, honestly, it'd be kind of funny if he just lost twice in a row, like, or like if he tries to cash it in but can't cash it in. Like, I know that's been done to death too, but I guess I just have a more, a happier vision of this kind of stuff, and than Adam does, which is fine. We all have
Yeah, I mean,
our tastes when it comes to wrestling, but
we are allowed to disagree.
yes, right. But so I liked this segment overall. I thought, and I agree with Adam, it was very well done. It was very well produced. It made sense with everybody's character, with Adam being compassionate, though, as Simon Miller noted, I love that he waited until 1 to make the decision. But and then, and where was the fucking security? But oh well, who cares? I like this segment a lot, and I think it puts over that, yes, Max can lose his temper, but at the end of it, he still is a smart heel, and he can outsmart the babyface and get outsmarted by a smart babyface. So I like that dynamic between these two, but I understand why some people might be frustrated by it. I don't mind the stipulations. I think that's fine. I think it adds the right kind of intrigue, because you're like, well, could Max then win? Oh, by the way, I don't think Max is winning. I don't think you take that title away from Adam so soon. I
No,
also think
neither do I.
I also think that Max has too many fucking enemies. He's got Mystico. He's got himself. He's got the Hurt Syndicate. He's got Mark Briscoe. There's no way that he beats Adam here. Like, there's no way he beats Hangman.
I could see a world in which um that Hangman beats MJF in the match.
Right.
And then MJF tries to cash in. I could see a world in which he succeeds in cashing in, like the match is called, and then either someone like Mark Briscoe or Mystico or someone like that comes out to cost him, or do you know what I think would be much better for MJF's character? If Hangman just beats him clean twice.
That's what I said. That's what I think, that would be hilarious. I
I
think the crash
not
out.
only do, not only do I think would it be hilarious, I think it would add so much to Max's character that he can hit. I saw. I'm ripping off a tweet that I saw, but it's stuck in my mind ever since. That you could have MJF lose twice, hit the same sort of rock bottom that Hangman hit, but rather than Hangman going on this big
Yes.
redemption
Yes, I
and
saw
love,
this too.
and
Yes.
finds himself, MJF just absolutely wallows in the darkness and
Yes.
becomes an even worse version of himself.
Oh, fuck yeah, that'd be awesome.
Which,
so I'm super on board with that.
yeah, because it makes narrative sense with their characters. Hangman can hit rock bottom, but he is still innately good in this, in the sense of, he was obviously consumed with his anger with Swerve Strickland and stuff like that, and that's what caused him to hit rock bottom. But that innate goodness shone through when he had nothing left to lose. And, we had the thing with, Christopher Daniels and MJF, crucially, as well, that whole program, to turn Hangman face again. But you could absolutely tell the story that MJF is nowhere near as innately good as Hangman. And so when he hits rock bottom, it is thoroughly within his character's sort of bends to just stay there and absolutely fester in his own anger and embarrassment and become truly devil. Just become the devil. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I don't know whether that's what they'll do. I think it's more likely that someone like Mystico comes out to cost him the cash in, and or even he doesn't even get to cash in, and Mystico just stops him
Right.
to build.
I think also what you could do, which would be fun, is have some kind of triple threat where you have, or not triple threat. Sorry, trios tag match where you have Hangman, Mystico, and Mark Briscoe versus MJF, Ricochet, and Toa Leona, or I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the other guy's name.
Bishop
Go ahead.
Khan.
Bishop Khan, thank you. Bishop, the guy who usually takes the pin. Bishop Khan. So, yeah, I think you could do that, and that would be awesome. So, I also want to see. I think, by the way, Mystico and MJF are having some kind of title versus mask match at a show. At least I heard that, but I'm not sure if it's actually happening. Or
Yeah, it's at their CMLL, their
anniversary show.
anniversario. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So I think it would make total sense. MJF just attacked Mystico on ROH, which means it's probably airing this week or so, right before Forbidden Door. So, and Mystico showing up obviously
No,
with.
no, no, no. Their anniversario is the 19th of September. I know that one.
Okay. Right. Oh, okay. So they're not fighting on that, or they are.
It's no, they are fighting on that. That's the big
Okay.
MJF Mystico match, but it is crucially, I think it's the day before, All Out. Yeah,
Sure.
the day before All Out.
So I think to tie things in, you could have Mystico come in with a mask on or something, or like a different mask, obviously, but like and come in in costume.
You could absolutely do just the Sting thing where he takes the mask off.
That'd be great.
Um,
Have him come in with the fucking old school. I think he already does this, but come in with the old school Mystico match from mask from WWE, then to take it off and reveal the new one, and then he just fucks up MJF. I think that'd be great. But yeah,
yeah. That would
either
be
way,
great.
I number one, I don't think Max is winning, and number two, I agree that there were cleaner ways that you could have done this, but I loved this segment so much, and I thought it was a nice way to make Max not look not completely stupid, but completely outplayed by Hangman. I think it leveled the playing field a little bit, but I understand like your reservation and other people's reservation with cash and tropes, and do agree that they're overdone to death.
Yeah, I just think that there was a better way for MJF to sort of get a leg up on on Hangman than just rehashing this contract thing. I don't know. I'm just over contracts. I'm just over it. I wish that they'd simplified it so that the all in the casino gauntlets would simply for the world title shot at the next pay per view. I think that would have made so much more sense. It would have got us to the exact same point that we're at, but it also would have simplified the story and not had this sort of will they, won't they, what is the situation type deal with it that I think is distracted from, especially it's distracted from the really excellent work that Tony and Athena did at the start of their feud, where it was like, oh, well, is she going to just cash in now? Whereas if you just had her, have the title shot at Forbidden Door straight off the bat, then it just would have made more narrative sense. I hope. And I do expect it because I know that some of the backlash online has been, sort of reaching ears. I expect that this might be the last time we see that sort of cash in, or at least there'll be a lot more vociferous in laying down exactly the rules of the cash in next time. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I do think I think this is probably the last year we get it, or that he goes back to the contracts thing. Please get rid of the ring, the fucking Sonic ring, and he just makes the all in matches for a guaranteed contract at I don't fucking know, Forbidden Door or All Out or something. So
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, after that, we should say that after that, Ricochet is hanging out backstage, and Hangman grabs the chair, smashes him in the back with it, absolutely wrecks the poor guy's back. Sort of grabs him, is like, "Where's Mark? Where's Mark?" Ricochet's absolutely shitting himself. Have you seen the video of this?
Of them hitting Ricochet's back.
Yeah, and also Ricochet's sort of facial reactions to it. He's absolutely.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think I missed that part. I did hear him do that though, or see him do that.
But yeah, he's absolutely pissing himself. It's brilliant. Yeah, Hangman is incensed and looking for Mark Briscoe, but apparently Briscoe's already left. Which brings us nicely onto the main event. Women getting the main event, always good to see. Especially these four women, because Jesus Christ, I don't think AEW has ever had a more stacked women's match in terms of the sheer star power involved because you have, on one hand, Alex Windsor, who has been doing some really good work since she joined AEW. And in fact, I think it came out today that Tony Khan sees her very, very highly, like a focal point of the women's division going forward. And her, friend, non-sexual friend, Timeless Tony Storm. And on the other hand, perhaps the greatest, the greatest women's team. I'm not going to say ever, because I think you have you have Manami Toyota and Toshido Yamada. I can't say ever, but certainly in AEW history of Mercedes Moné and Athena. As an aside, Dory, who's better?
Who's better?
Mercedes Moné or Athena? Who's better?
Oh man, fuck you. I know one of our listeners is going to be very unhappy when I say this, so I'm very sorry. But I think it's got to be the CEO for me. I think she just has more consistently, just by a little bit, really great, excellent, or incredible matches. Just the best stuff ever in AEW or of all time. Whereas I think it's a dance partner issue with Athena. I think if she had more high quality folks, not that she hasn't had amazing opponents, by the way, I'm not saying that, but just obviously because she's on ROH, she doesn't always get the creme de la creme, and TK obviously doesn't want them all losing to Athena and wants to do some of those matches on AEW, understandably. I will say, and I'll stand on business about this. I think it's Mercedes overall. Now, I will say, if you were specifically going by character and by promo, probably Athena, but I'm looking at in-ring work as well.
I mean, yeah, for me, it is ridiculously close.
Yes.
I adore Athena so much, and I'm so happy that she is finally getting the flowers she deserves on AEW TV. And also, just to preface it, I'll stand on business and say I think she's winning on Sunday, and
Yes.
I will scream myself hoarse when she does. But see, I asked the question because I was going to pop off a hot take and say that I think it's Athena, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure because, I think this is how I'll preface it. At the moment, I think Athena is doing better work than Mercedes. And that's not to say that Mercedes is doing bad work by any means. She certainly isn't. But I think Athena is absolutely on the run of her life. If you're going to take into account the history of women's wrestling in North America and all the things that both women have done in the course of their career, I think Mercedes just about edges it. But if we're going on, who do I think is the better wrestler right now in that ring? I think it's Athena. So we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
But all that to say, this was a really, really good match.
This was fun. I was very tired by the time this happened, so I just kind of thought it was a great match. But I enjoyed everything. The fat bastard reference was great from Tony.
Get in my belly.
Get in my belly. I grew up with those movies, so I instantly got that reference.
I
love Windsor and Tony.
so much.
The finish was fucking brilliant too.
It really was. I wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I absolutely adored. I'm a sucker for that sort of false finish in a tag match with the person not being the legal person and then getting caught out. Like, I loved it when the Bar did it against I want to say the New Day. You know the one I mean. It's been clipped to death on wrestling.
I was actually about to reference that, the one with Claudio and Sheamus. Where they do the fake tag, and they get the win over the New Day. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because this is why I was thinking about it. Sheamus, there was an interview with Sheamus that he did very recently, or at least sometime this year, and he's like, that's one of his title reigns that he's the most proud of. Was the one that he did with Claudio, which, oh god, I wish Sheamus was in the dub because he does some good shit. But
I really thought we were going to get it as well.
I know, I was so excited.
It wasn't so much Sheamus in AEW that got me excited. I was like, I want Sheamus to do a G1.
Yes.
And then the G1 sort of shat itself this year, so I'm not as excited as I was last year.
Yeah, hindsight 2020.
But we all love Sheamus. I think even the people that vehemently hate WWE are like, good for Sheamus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this match, importantly, and the finish to this match that we were talking about. So Alex Windsor is in with Mercedes Moné. I think she hits her with a really nice Samoan drop and gets her in the sharpshooter, which is Alex Windsor's finisher. She's finished many a woman off with that before. Sorry, I'm sounding like Tony Storm at this point. But importantly, Mercedes tapped out to the sharpshooter, but she wasn't the legal woman, so it didn't mean anything. And as Alex Windsor is sort of remonstrated with the ref because Mercedes isn't the legal woman, Athena flips over Alex's shoulders, hits her with the O face, and pins her 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. I thought it was a phenomenal finish. And also, I watched it back. I don't quite understand how Athena gets into that position. To be able to flip over her and hit her with, the stunner like that, but just excellent work. Like we talked about, we were talking the other day about people who need new finishers, and we brought up people like Brodido. We're not big fans of the 21 plex and stuff like that. You want to talk about someone who has just the most. Oh, and Mercedes as well. We're not big fans of the Moneymaker. Athena's finisher looks absolutely devastating every single time. And I most of the time she does like a corkscrew in midair. I don't understand how she does it, but I love it, and I also love the fact it's called the O face, which is the most Athena thing imaginable. Did you fall asleep?
I did not fall asleep. I kind of zoned out. But yes, I completely agree that her move always looks devastating. It looked incredible here. What really helped is the production. The production here, where the ref, I kind of wish Windsor, I don't know, maybe she did do this. Like, tell me if she did. But like the ref is like telling Windsor, like, no, like she's not the legal participant. And then I kind of wanted Windsor to go full Brit here and go like, you what, mate? And then like, and then comedically, like very well timed, like Athena hits the O face. But it was still very good. It was still very well timed. This was a solid match, just a good back and forth, a good setup for for what's to come.
Absolutely. We talked off mic about the terror that Vince McMahon has wreaked on the wrestling industry, specifically by having people worried about booking mathematics. In terms of like, oh well, the challenger stood tall, so that means that she's not winning in the pay-per-view. Fuck all that, because Athena has stood tall every single time that she's been in the ring with Toni Storm, and I still think she's winning.
Tony Khan fucking loves her. I just don't see her losing here. I think she's got this.
I think crucially as well. I know that
I think that's our word of the day, by the way. Crucially,
I know. Sorry, it's a crutch of mine.
It's fine.
But very importantly, I know that it wasn't the first women's casino gauntlet. I know they had another one. Megan, I think, did Megan Bain win it, or maybe Chris Statlander? I don't know. But it was the first one on a massive stage like that at All In. And I think it was the first one for a women's world title shot, at least. Oh no, Toni Storm won it. That's right, Toni Storm won it.
Right, she won it with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment.
The big package.
That's right.
But yeah, anyway, the first one on a massive stage like that, the first one that has sort of been played up to be a contract situation, because everyone knew the moment Tony Storm won that it was going to be for the title in Australia. So it's a big, massive stage. You know, you're introducing a concept for the women. I just don't see a scenario where you introduce this thing and then lose the first one.
Yeah, it doesn't
You
make
know
any
what I
sense.
mean?
That's a great point. That doesn't make any sense to me either.
Like I know that my examples for this mostly are um sort of WWE related, but they didn't have a Money in the Bank winner lose for a good like 7-8 years. Um,
And I'm
so
pretty sure the first one to lose it was I don't remember who it was, but they were not highly ranked.
um, I
Was it a
think
Nemeth?
no, I think no, Nemeth absolutely won. I remember that.
Oh yeah, you're
No,
right. You're right. You're right.
Genuinely, I don't think you could be more wrong. Because unless my memory is failing me, I think the first person to lose it was John Cena.
What?
Because he cashed in. He cashed in advance against CM Punk. Uh,
Oh,
I think the first person to lose it on a surprise cash in was
yeah, you're
Baron
right. It's John
Corbin.
Cena.
I think the first person
Others
to lose it
include
on a surprise.
Damian Sandow. That's who I was thinking of. Damian Sandow was
Oh,
the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, Austin Theory, and Drew McIntyre.
Oh God, I remember that. People got very pressed in the Fightful chat because there were reports that came out that people that was funnily enough that was in the Hydro, you know where this Dynamite was.
Right.
But there were reports after Drew McIntyre cashed in and lost in the Hydro that people were chanting for AEW in the corridors after the show. Um,
Hey,
and
they got what they wanted. Just had to wait a
when
year.
yeah, when that was pointed out to some of the WWE fans in the Fightful chat, they got very angry. Um,
Weep.
whereas nowadays, bear in mind this was sort of middle of last year when supposedly WWE was on fire, they could do no wrong sort of thing. I think the WWE fans have gotten a bit more used to everyone shitting on them now um, after the 6 months they've had. Um, but you know that's neither here nor there. But yeah, point being, I think Athena's winning. Somehow
Right.
that somehow that was the original point.
Yeah, somehow.
We very much did a Tony Khan there, where you
Absolutely
know
we did.
we
But
we,
but
we went
crucially, we answered the question. So
crucial. Yeah, thanks for asking. Um,
thanks for asking. I think honestly, I think that's I don't mean to rush us, but I think pretty much all Dynamite.
yeah, agreed. Oh, just to say that Persephone was there, who is the CMLL
Persephone, yeah.
representative,
Fucking
and
Shakespeare.
got in got in Mercedes' face. After the match to sort of end the show. We
Oh,
did
we
get
should also say that they
yeah,
announced that Bozilla is going to be involved in the. Maybe you were about
yeah,
to say it. Sorry.
I was, yeah. Not not what I was expecting, certainly.
No, I thought we get
As a
Momo or Azumi,
I would have put money on Azumi.
but
Um,
apparently TK's wanted Bozilla for a while. So there you go.
because because TK is a generational ball knower. Bozilla is a really excellent professional wrestler, and I'm willing to bet that most people in the O2 are not necessarily familiar with her work. I
Right.
am, because for my sins, I have seen a little bit of Marigold.
Yeah.
Um, God knows why. Um, but Bozilla is a really excellent professional wrestler. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are
I've heard
going to
nothing but
be
good things about her, and now she's finally away from notorious Drake enjoyer Rossi Ogawa. So I am very happy that I'm going to be able to see her. I heard she had a great match with Megan Bain on GCW. That's worth checking out.
Mm. I just got an alert from NJPW World. that my subscription has been renewed. You have phenomenal comic timing, Ghetto.
And it's amazing too because you were talking about at the beginning of the episode, and now it's the end of the episode.
Fucking hell! Literally, it just popped up on my phone. A bunch of Japanese, and then your subscription has been renewed. Fucking great.
I had that with ROH. I forgot to unsubscribe, and then I got an
in
email. I was like, "God damn it, Tony Khan!"
in fairness, though, you do now get Death Before Dishonor. So
That's
it did
true,
make sense to renew your subscription if you only subscribe to the pay-per-views like I do.
and I do pretty much. Although
So
I
yeah,
might stick out one of those collections that they have.
yeah, I might finally get around to watching all of the Danielson McGuinness matches in order. I've been
Yes, I've
meaning to
seen
do
just
that.
about all of them on ROH. They're all really, really good, obviously,
Oh,
but they're all really,
I've
really good.
seen them, but what I
Oh,
mean is
okay.
I want to watch them all,
Sure.
as a collective. But yeah, that should end us pretty nicely there.
Yep.
We're obviously not gonna do a review for Collision because I will be at Forbidden Door on the Sunday, so we'll do a review of Forbidden Door, I should imagine.
Yep. I will be available on Monday. That is by the way, everyone, Forbidden Door is on my birthday. So I have such a busy weekend ahead of me. It's kind of nuts, actually. But I'm very excited. All I want for my birthday, Tony, if you're listening, I know that you is that I just need Athena to win. I don't care what else happens. All of my birthday wishes are for her to win. Please give her the title. Thank you.
It has been a complete joy to learn that you share a birthday with Vince McMahon.
Fucking hell, I forget about that every year. That someone fucking reminds me about that. God damn it. We should have ended the podcast 5 minutes ago. Fuck me.
Oh, well, we'll end it now. How about that? The best time was 5 minutes ago. The second best time is now.
Yep. Also, the day that Bray Wyatt died. So I'm really fucking rolling in it.
You also share a birthday with Adam Blompier.
Wait, Adam who?
But you know the
that guy?
Yeah.
That guy.
You know the sex pest.
Well, yeah, I'm aware.
But yeah, congratulations. I share a birthday with Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah. Not as good of a guy as people say, but you know.
I know, but he's not Vince McMahon.
That's yeah.
You know, I think and Sting from not Sting the wrestler, but Sting the police.
I got really excited for a second. I was like, holy shit.
No, I think the only wrestler I share a birthday with is Yokozuna. Which, yay. But anyway, yeah, we've been wrapping up for like 10 minutes at this point.
You sure have.
We have our long-suffering producer tearing his hair out in the background. But yeah, that should do us. Thank you very much for joining me, Dory. I know I put you through hell.
Thanks for reminding me about my birthday.
You're very welcome. Let me know if you forget, and I'll remind you.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, we'll have a review up for Forbidden Door. I imagine sometime, probably either Monday or Tuesday. And yeah, thank you for your continued support. Do all the things like comment, subscribe, blah 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 blah. And yeah, that should do us. Thank you very much, and goodbye.